All right, everyone, we're going to call this training Captured Page Masterclass because I'm going to show you a lot of cool things that you didn't realize are part of the system. For example, I'm just going to click on this capture page here and we got this background. But let's say I wanted to just, first of all, you can click choose images. We got tons of images built in here. Or you can go and find any image that you want. So you're not just stuck to these images. You can go online and do that. But let's say I want something with a white background. When I do that, I could obviously change this text here to a different color to make it pop out just by clicking the edit text button. And then when you just got to click in, I could obviously change this if I wanted to change it to red, real easy. But another feature that you don't realize that's in here is you can click on the background and I can add this black background, for example, and then I can choose the opacity of it. Check this out. So now, if I really wanted this to stand out a little bit, you can actually do that. It doesn't look great on all pages, but like you could play with the opacity, and if you really just want to have something stand out a little bit more off a white background or off a lighter background, you can do that. You can even change that if you don't want black. I mean, you certainly can change it to whatever color you want. Now that yellow's not standing out real big like that, but the closer I get to here, you see how you can do that. Now, there's certain ways you do that. I think that looks cheesy on a page like this. I'd probably just change the color and be done with it. But just to show you that, let's say I want the background. We're just going to go back to full opacity here. A lot of times you can also use a drop shadow to make this text pop off the page more. So if I hit the drop shadows, and then you just move to the right a little bit, and you'll see this black drop shadow. The more I push it, the more it kind of pops out the page. You see that? And then this bottom one pops the shadow down a little bit lower underneath it. You see that? But sometimes you want a different type of text altogether. So you can click in here, and we have different texts that make it look really different depending on which one you're looking at. See, you can do the different text here. Not only can you do the different text up here, you can do it everywhere on the page. So you can click this, and if I wanted the Comic Sans here, or whatever the case may be, they look different. If I want impact, you can go through the different text here as well. You can also change the size just by dragging this up and down, the size of it. And again, adding a background shadow. So let's say I wanted to pull this blue into there. I can hit text, then I can hit background shadow and try to find this more blue color, like right there maybe, and hit choose. You don't see it yet because we haven't offset it yet. So you got to drag these things over, and then you'll see it start to offset a little bit. And on some fonts it looks better than others. And this is called the spread. This is, see how you can make it almost look like it's glowing if I want to. See how the spread makes it look glowing? So that's another cool feature. A lot of you didn't know this either. Let's say I wanted to highlight this text here. This was important. I can, let me X out this and I click on this. You can use the background, for example, to make it like a highlight. So let's say I wanted to like do a highlight yellow, and this was an important point real quick. I can do that and make it like look like a highlight. And let's say I wanted that text to be in red, then I can do that. But check out this. A lot of you don't even realize that this is on here, that you can actually go and you can center it. So it looks better on the page. See, when it's over here, it doesn't look as good as it does centered. Maybe you want to make the point italicized. So you can do the italicized. That's a really cool feature too. You can actually bold it. Go in here and the weight is either bold, normal, or thin. Normal and thin just look the same on this particular font, but bold looks definitely different there. So you might want to change that up. So you can do all that on here. So there's a million things you can do using the background shadows, the italicized, the fonts, the different weights, everything on a particular page. Because you're going to need that, because sometimes, let me just go in here, take this. Sometimes you'll find that a page, let me just go on Google, for example, and find, I don't know, luxury car. And then click on images. Once you type something into Google, just type on images. I also like to put in a lot of times the word wallpaper, because wallpaper stand out. So I want to talk about this real quick. If you type in wallpaper, for example, on a luxury car, these are designed to be high-end graphics that already look amazing. Like this Bentley here, see how they have the gray as gradient? You see how amazing this looks? So if I take this, one thing too is when you type on when you click on a picture, sometimes you'll see it a little bit blurry while it's loading up. Whoop, what happened there? And you want to make sure that it loads all the way and the picture's clear. Because if you copy it while it's blurry, it'll probably come over blurry. So now this picture's done. Click on copy image address or copy image URL. And then we're going to take it over here. And then we're going to hit provide background and hit paste. And these look amazing when they're set up because this already had that gradient built in. It's a high-end image, so it looks good. So now what I would do on this page to make it look amazing, you see this color car's burgundy here? Well, I'd click on here, come over here and edit the text, click on this, whoop, I don't want that, and then I'd try to find that perfect burgundy color. You see, I'm looking at the car, I can see it. Now look at that, that looks very cool. So don't forget, you can change all these text colors and the button color. See that yellow button? Now that yellow button's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. So let me click on that. And then if you click on the background, this background tab here, see all these different tabs? Background. We'll drag this into that red and try to find that same burgundy looking color. And then we choose. But when you do that, it has a background shadow that's still yellow. So we want to change that. Let's make that black. So you can do that under box shadows. But you see it kind of pushed it over here, so you just take these dials and we do that, and then we can move it, where I like the shadow to go like underneath the box, make it look kind of 3D. And then maybe I want to change that writing from white to black. So I can come down here and go like this. Bam, instantly black. You see that? Now, as you can see on this background, it is tough to see this text here, right? So first and foremost, we can come up here, and of course you're going to write whatever you want to write, but you can play with the color. Okay, does white stand out better? As soon as I do white, you can see it against this black here, but you can't necessarily see it against here, right? So a lot of times I'll increase the size. That helps some. You still can't see it, but watch this. As soon as you add the text shadow, see how that pops out the page? Just like that. Or maybe I would change the font to a heavier font like Impact, and then increase the size. See, Impact is a little bit thicker font and stands out the page. Well, maybe this burgundy would be better here because this white still's not cutting it. So I can come in here and look for that dark burgundy color and hit choose. And that actually looks pretty good. So you have to play around with your pages on how the text will come out. This comes stock with yellow, but it don't need to be yellow. You can change it to white. And then for the text shadow, instead of this purple, what we're going to do is we'll go into this burgundy here. And then pop that off the page. And now we got the whole burgundy color. So you see how this stuff matches. A lot of times I just delete this line, but you go into edit text, because I think 3 lines on a capture page is probably good enough. And then on this, take a free tour and learn more. You see that's still kind of hidden. You can't see this good. So I make it a little bit bigger. I might change this to white now. Let's see how this looks. And then take the background shadow and take that dark burgundy color. And then pop it off the page a little bit. All of a sudden, you see how that looks nice, right? Now let's say I still can't see this the way I want to. Remember, I could come in here. I can go to background shadow. I want black, but I want it opacity. So this is what they call the opacity, how see-through you want it. So like I could just go like that, maybe a little bit, and hit choose. And now you see how that pops out the page right where I want it. And I can make that even a little bit lighter if I want. But again, now when you look at this page, it's starting to stand out a lot more. So we've added so many tweaks into the system to let you have killer pages. A lot of people have just messed around doing the basic stuff, but they're not even realizing look how that italicized just stands out like that. See that? How cool that is. Okay, so these are some of the cool features that you can do. Let me jump into a video page real quick. Oh, by the way, One of the other cool features we just added was you could make this a landing page. So let's just say you wanted to make some cool content and have a button. Maybe you already captured a lot of name and emails and you don't need this here. Under form settings, you can click on, first and foremost, you can click on full. Simple will just collect their name and email if you want to do that, or you click none. And now you have a page that you could just write something real quick, almost like a website, and take a button, click this button, and it will go anywhere you want. So you wouldn't capture names and emails that way, but it's a great way to do something very quick. Also, let me show you something else. I'm going to click on this, for example. You'll see a box called miscellaneous, and there's something called padding. So let's say this button looks too close to this. I can literally go like this and change the padding and push that button down just by moving the padding. And so now that page looks better because it was too cramped before. So we added a padding button too that you might not have realized that we did here. Also, you're going to name your page name. This is where you will name it a full name. This is what shows up in the little tabs when you see it in the tabs. So I could say, our reps get a free Bentley, if I wanted that. Okay, now when you name your page, this is going to be one word only. So I would name it Bentley. Okay, it can't start with a number. It needs to be all one word. Some of you are trying to put multiple words in here or start it with a number, and then you're getting an error. It won't save. It needs to be all one word. Okay. Also, custom redirect URL. You can actually send this to a landing page. So if you made another landing page, let's say with a webinar, you can send them right to that page. Just find the page and hit that, and that button will take them right to that page. Or here, you can send them to, whatever you want. Google.com, yourbusiness.com, whatever the case may be. So as soon as they hit that button, that's where it's going to go, whatever you put here. So whether you want them to go to one of your pages that you have set up in the system or a page outside the system, all right? And then you would just click on save, and that will save, and that's how you do it. So let me get into a couple of the tweaks you can do on the video pages. The video pages are the same way. First of all, when you go to find a YouTube video, a lot of people, when it says video ID, you're trying to put in the whole URL. And if you watch the video that actually loads, this video right here, we actually tell you how to do it. But a lot of people don't watch that, so I'm going to show you. So when you go to YouTube and you look at a video, if you look on the share part, the code right after the slash, this MQPW-N4, it's actually easier to copy it off your top of the page in the browser, but that's all you need is this piece of code right here, that little piece of code that starts with an M. It's different on every YouTube video. So then I'm going to go into the video capture page, click edit text, this button comes up, I would paste that, click edit text again, and the video shall load.
All right, Craigslist used correctly is a cash
right there.
cow. I show you how to get.
Okay, again, you can choose any of our images as a background. You can go to Google and pick your own. One thing about video backgrounds, I noticed when you do more of a stagnant page or stagnant color, it really makes the videos pop. We got a lot of these cool, really cool, I'm going to like textures in here that make it look great. Even like this one's cool. Like it has the sea and the cloud. It's not too busy. It pulls it into the whole page there. So that's kind of a cool thing. We have these stone textures that look really high end too. We even have fabric looking textures that look cool. I love this one here. But there's a lot of cool things. But I notice when you do a background, the money one always works really well. I like these stone ones like this. I just think that looks really expensive and real high end. But again, you could also go to Google and use whatever you want. But some of you, when you build this stuff out, you are using just the same text up here. Realize though, you can go from this and look at the text, and I like the impact text a lot. It just seems a little bit bigger or a little bit more dynamic, okay? Remember, you could add, you don't really need a background shadow up here, but even if you wanted to italicize it, I don't like headers italicized in my opinion, but you could do that. You could change the color, so you got that dark gray back there if you wanted to change it to red. Okay, that red looks a little bit bright, but watch how a text shadow, again, the same text shadows, make it just pop off the page a little bit more, okay, just by adding that little bit of shadow that you can do. Okay, down here, all this is editable, okay, but let's say you really want to get your point across here. Maybe this here, you'll go in the background, and you can even change that to yellow, And now you see that that sticks out. Let's say you want to make the text red to get a point across, and then italicize it. So look at the dynamic how that changed right there. You can do the same on the bullet points and whatnot. But remember, even on the bullet points, you can add different text. So if you want to impact text, and you can make them bigger or smaller right there. One of the things to know too is I'm noticing on some of the capture pages, actually let me go into another video capture page here, this one here. I notice a lot of you are just kind of using a template and you're leaving a lot of the stuff the same, which is fine. The templates are great, but like when I do this here, well, I want to show you, I think this text looks a lot better centered than left align. But a lot of you are leaving it left align, but I think it looks a lot nicer centered. I also like to change that a lot of times to impact. And then you can change the color and feel too. So let's say I'm doing a lot with red here, but so I can go to the text shadow, click a red text shadow, and just push it out a little bit more. Okay? So if I was going with a red theme here, like that, okay? One thing I would also do here is, you know, then I would change this background here to red. And then I think the text is a little small on this button, so I usually increase it a little bit, then it pops out some there. Okay? And then I would change this to red. Also, some of you, I think capital letters look a lot better than non-capital letters. Like I don't like small letters. I know we default like this, but I think capital letters look a lot better. If like all caps, everything in all caps is usually how I build a capture page. But that's just some of the tricks. I mean, if you want to come down here and make these italicized instead, the bullet points, they look a little bit cooler when they're italicized. It kind of does takes this a little different direction here. And like that. So you can do all that type of stuff. You could change the, so you know too, if you don't like take a free chore, you could come in here and change it to join now, click here. I like the explanation point, so I usually just keep that there. But, and I like all caps, so I would change this to caps. Join now, click here. See how much more dynamic those caps made that button there? And then I could even change the button here if I want, if I'm going like with a red theme. And by the way, you can move this box anywhere you want. So like if you click it and it's down here and you can't see it, just drag it somewhere where you can see it. Click red. There you go. Look, you can even do a text shadow on the button itself if you want to, and have it pop off the page. Again, so you can change the backgrounds. You can go to Google and grab a background. It's great. Like, you know what, I'm dealing with a lot of people that do tea and coffee here. Let me just show you like a cool coffee background. Where is it at? This one here looks really great with the video. So if I was doing a coffee business, see how that pops off the page like that? Nice. So you can do a lot with this. Again, you can do the background. If you want to do a darker background here, see how that changes? You know, pretty cool. I mean, if I wanted to go with red, see how that changes? Okay, so that's just a couple of the features on the Conversion Pros. These pages are so customizable. I mean, no one can have the same page. I mean, you could do a million different tweaks to every page. And when you do this, you're going to have a lot more high-end experience by tweaking all this stuff than not tweaking. So we've built in all these features for you to use. We've made them absolutely amazing, and so that's some really cool features that you can do and change with every page inside the Conversion Pros.